Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Nerding Out with Rickshaw, Raised by TV edition. I am Rickshaw, and you're also here with.
It is me, Toby Von Doom, the producer.
And today we have a special guest, everybody, Will Swan.
Yo, how's it going?
Here on Raised by TV, this segment, we usually talk about what inspired us as kids when it comes to like music videos, TV, and movies. And today, Will, what did you pick? And explain why.
I'll start with TV. I picked Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It came on at a very impressionable age in my life when I was around junior high, I think, and it was just kind of alternative uh, show with action, sci-fi. I've always been a big sci-fi horror fan. There weren't a lot of TV shows at the time that did that well or did that for a younger audience. And I thought that Buffy did that really well, kind of incorporating like this Scooby Doo type of gang, but with, you know, vampires and
Right.
things that were done more seriously. And it was action packed and full of all kinds of monsters, and it was romantic and just like kind of everything in one show. Um, and I loved it. It was a pretty pivotal show for me.
Now, I don't recall the show. I mean, I remember seeing some of the episodes, and of course, everyone loved Sarah Michelle Gellar. Was this more of like the Monster of the Week kind of format? Like where they had like something new was coming out, like, oh, the fairies are coming, or, the werewolves, or, supernatural-esque, or one of the.
Yeah. I
Okay,
feel like shows like Supernatural and shows like that are basically just Buffy repackaged.
right.
Shows
Yeah.
like that were my favorite. There just weren't a ton. Like I mean, I love the Twilight Zone from the '60s, and that's
Yeah.
a episode. Each just shows its own thing, and I feel like Buffy and the X-Files did that the best in the '90s, where every episode had its own kind of monster and bad guy, and they deal with that. But then there was also an like bigger threat, like a Thanos every
Okay.
season that was
Yeah.
operating behind the scenes. And X Files, they did that with like the Smoking Man episodes and things involving Mulder's sister and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Buffy did that really well too, and I really like that format if done well. And um, Buffy's definitely pretty dated now, so it's a little hard to watch now, but it was great when it came out.
Yeah. I was a huge fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And it's like you said, X-Files. X-Files, yeah, like the supernatural stuff, the mystery, the figuring out what's going on. But then this was like the teenage version.
Yeah,
This was like the teenage and the punk rock version mixed together. You know what I mean? Because we even have like a punk rock kind of intro, and it was like every
yeah,
episode, yeah. And they were in high school. They were high schoolers,
So
like trying to figure
relatable
out
at
all
the
these.
time.
Yeah, yeah. No, I loved the
yeah.
show.
They had a venue called the Bronze in the show that had rock bands playing all the time.
Yeah,
I know Chibo Mato played. It was like, wow, John Lennon's son is on the show. That's kind of crazy.
yeah.
Did you follow wasn't there a spin-off show called Spike?
Hmm.
Or Angel,
There's
Angel,
Angel.
Angel. That's
Or
what it was.
Angel. Yeah,
I,
that's what it was.
I know some of the characters. I just don't remember all the
Yeah.
lore and everything. Did you watch Angel?
I watched a few seasons of that. I didn't get as into Angel as I was into Buffy, but it was all they kind of created that universe together, which was also kind of rare, to have two shows operating in the same universe that were kind of back to back, and they'd have crossovers, and I'd never seen anything like that. I still don't think there's much like that
No,
to this day.
I feel like the first show I ever saw that was Hercules and Xena when they
Oh
had
yeah,
the two shows. But I only watched that show because WWF was on right after it or before it or whatever. So
Nice.
But
But
yeah,
yeah,
it's same thing. It was kind of cool to have the crossover like that. I can't really think of anything in modern times that does that. Maybe some of the DC shows, but I don't watch those.
yeah. It is funny that you said Scooby Doo, because Sarah Michelle Gellar eventually did the Scooby Doo. So, but
Which was great.
yeah,
yeah, it
yeah,
was.
yeah.
Both those
That
are good.
was that was written by James Gunn, right? Those Scooby Doo movies, right?
Yeah. I think it was all just an excuse for him to hang out with Sugar Ray.
Which is a hell of an excuse.
Yeah.
But one thing about this show, though, it is Joss Whedon, which Joss Whedon for a long time was like known for doing great things. Like especially this show, he wrote a lot of comic book stories for a while. He directed the first Avengers movie, I believe. But then we
Yeah.
started hearing bad stuff about the guy. So I'm really on the fence about what we are to believe because apparently he was like super abusive on the set of the what was it, Justice League, and I guess he was like always talking shit to everybody. He just was not having a good time. And after some of that came out, I think Sarah Michelle Gellar and some of the girls in the Buffy show said that he could be kind of a dick when he was filming this show too. So that sucks. But he's still done a lot of cool shit when it comes to writing. So
Yeah, I don't know quite what happened. I haven't been a fan of his since Buffy, pretty much. Like I thought he did a pretty good job with the Avengers, but once they
right.
brought in like the Russo brothers, they totally
Oh yeah,
took
for sure.
that over. But yeah, like I think he just destroyed Justice League. I mean, the Snyder cut
Yeah.
the Joss Whedon version makes the Snyder cut look genius.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
he came in, he did his job. He got paid to rearrange a movie that was already done, and I guess he did his job, but we didn't expect it to be the best thing after. You know what I mean? Like if you hired me to come in and rearrange your songs, like it might turn out kind of shitty, because I'm not you. But
Yeah,
yes,
they definitely did Zack Snyder dirty on that
they
one, especially
they
with the
did.
circumstances where his daughter,
Yeah,
had committed suicide and kind of used that as an excuse to get rid of him and go a different direction. But
right.
yeah, like, I'm really happy that the Snyder Cut came out,
Yeah,
just because
for
it
sure.
was awesome. I really liked it. I think it was better than anything that's come out since Endgame, from DC um, or Marvel, including the new Batman, which I dug. But
Yeah,
I still like the center cut better.
Fair.
And yeah, Joss Whedon. I know that that news came out and it kind of tanked his newer HBO show, which looks like just another reimagining of Buffy. With
what was the new show?
it looked like it was about women with superpowers,
Oh, okay.
and I
I
saw
I
an
think I
ad
know what you're
for it.
talking about. I've never watched it though.
I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, it just kind of came and went.
But yeah, let's celebrate what Joss Whedon has done in our childhood. So let's hear that. Let's watch that intro because I remember this shit.
Oh shit!
Look how young she looks.
Yeah.
She still looks good. I mean, she's in that Wolf show from the Teen Wolf guys. It's
Oh
on
yeah.
Paramount Plus or something.
Hey, even the
I was watching
redhead.
it as kind of background watch while I did other things, and it wasn't very good. There was a lot. I felt like every time I looked at the screen when I was watching that new show, this one character was just making out with somebody like different. It was like, okay, well,
Yeah, and I just now remembered what's her name that was in How I Met Your Mother. She was
oh, Allison Hannigan, yeah.
yeah
Is she the
yeah
redhead?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
See, that's the one that I had a crush on when I was younger, like when I was a little kid, seeing the show come on. She was the one.
She was the I stuck a flute in my pussy.
Oh
That
yeah!
Yeah,
Holy
yeah.
shit! I didn't realize that.
She
Yeah.
has a storied career.
Yeah. Totally, dude. I mean, I mean, I'm gonna just let you know I've fantasized about her putting a flute in her pussy before. I'm into music.
I have a music fetish. Leave me alone.
But yeah, let's watch some of these clips of her being a badass because I remember the theme and I remember whenever they would have like marathons on like the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah.
I remember one time I like watched the show all weekend, like from front to back, and I remember loving it, but I just don't remember anything now. I'm fucking old, so.
We've watched lots of shows since then.
Oh yeah, lots of shows.
Yeah, I think I've retained it just because I watched it so many times. Like I've probably seen the whole series like 7 times all the way through. And I used to own it all on DVD. So, and me and my sister both watched it together. It was a brother-sister bonding show for us.
Yeah.
So what would you say is the better relationship? The Buffy Angel relationship or the Buffy Spike relationship?
Oh, Buffy Angel for sure. He had a lot more respect for her. Spike is loose cannon, kind of a douche. I mean, he's a villain.
Yeah.
He's the epitome of bad boy in all the wrong ways. So I definitely was rooting for Buffy Angel.
Yeah. Didn't Spike later start Bad Omens?
No comment. No comment.
All right, let's see her being a badass.
Sunrise.
They definitely made the vampires look really ugly.
I love that. I love the makeup for the vampires.
Yeah, the change is funny too.
It's not just fangs, like they made them,
About 9 hours,
look
moron.
evil.
What can you have been thinking?
Yeah, they didn't go. They could have with this show easily just gone with the sexy Anne Rice vampire.
Yeah.
But they didn't. Yeah, they went like, well, let's make sure they look Nosferatu-ish, you know. And I
Like the color. Guess what? I feel better.
oh, I like that episode. That mom was a witch.
Do you have any more copies of Emily Dickinson?
I really like
need
the Giles guy
Buffy,
too. Like there
the mere
always
fact of you wanting
there always
to
had to be
check
a
out
voice
the
of
book
reason
grounds for a national holiday.
for like the teenagers to stop doing debauchery to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, he was a good like grandfather figure too. Like when I was younger, I didn't really have a grandfather figure around except my family on my mom's side who couldn't speak much English, so I couldn't understand anything that they would say. So Giles was like like a father figure almost.
The voice of reason.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like their Professor
You know
X
what they
for
say?
sure.
90% of the
Oh
Vampire
yeah,
Slayer
yeah. He hangs out with those high school kids way too much. Later they give him a personal life. I think like a few seasons in, they're like, we should probably have this guy like date somebody or something.
Right.
Buffy's not home.
Do you know what the saddest thing in the world is?
Oh yeah.
That hair on
This
top
is
of
bringing
that
back
outfit.
To
memories.
love someone who used to love you.
Oh, and that's
We're
Rita
both for
from
several
Dexter.
generations.
Oh, really?
Well, you've been around
Yeah.
since Columbus. You are bound to pile up a few exes. You're older than him, right?
Yeah, she was in the
Just
first
between
couple
us girls, you are
seasons.
looking a little worn around the eye. I can just tell something's wrong. My spider sense
What
is
was the?
tingling.
Do you remember the curse that was with Angel? Right, like he had a curse going on until he found someone to love him or some shit, right?
Not even love. I think it's just if he came, basically.
If he just
Like you're not allowed to ejaculate or you're fucked.
But that made him evil again, right?
Yeah, and I mean he kept doing it. So
Dude, that's what happens to all of us
He was
guys.
one of the first master edgers.
You can say will change my mind.
Yeah, that
I
guy
know.
needs a chastity belt.
Damn, she punched Giles.
Oh shit. Oh yeah. She didn't want him to go out and get hurt. I remember that episode.
Anyway,
I've seen these all so many fucking times.
I don't know. Think of
Do
something
you have
cool.
a favorite episode?
You're dead.
I really like the Halloween episode where
Mom's so pretty.
this
What I can say for you.
recurring bad guy takes or puts up a Halloween shop, and everybody buys their costumes from him. And on Halloween night, they all turn into whatever their costume was.
That's cool.
So if you were a
Nice. That's
princess,
tight.
you'd all of a sudden become acting like a princess, or a monster, you'd turn into a monster. So I thought that was just a really good idea. Like that would make a good movie, even still.
Yeah.
Right.
I say we party.
I'm talking about big.
You know,
Yeah, it
for,
was definitely not a show lacking in creativity. They tried all kinds of weird shit on it.
Yeah.
Your mouth is open.
Sarah Michelle Gellar was just like, she's very confident with all the lines that she delivers and stuff. Like, she was kind of perfect for this role. Like, played the real pretty girl, but also kind of badass.
I won't tell anyone you're a moron. You're really
Yeah, it made sense. Like the cast was perfect.
as defending champion.
I
I'm
don't
nervous.
think I would have changed any of them.
Did you read any of the comic books that came out afterwards? Because I think there was like a comic book series that continued the series, maybe? Or I might be getting
Yeah,
that
and
mixed
it
up with
was even
Charmed.
written. Yeah, it was even written by like the writers and Joss Whedon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for a bunch of comics. So I have a lot of them. Yeah,
Oh, so
I'm also just a comic collector too. Like I have like every Chris Claremont X-Men.
that's awesome.
Oh yeah. Hell
Yeah, and I'm a huge fan of X-Men throughout his run of them. I'm a more of like an old school fan of comics. Like I've been reading Spider-Man from the beginning. Just starting with Stan Lee, and yeah, that old stuff's awesome. But my favorite Spider-Man's probably the Seth MacFarlane run,
That is a good run.
which was really dark, but the artwork was so sick.
It's so
Todd,
good.
Todd McFarlane.
Todd McFarlane, yeah.
Oh shit, yeah, there's a bunch of McFarlanes.
Yeah,
Seth MacFarlane voiced him. It's no big deal.
So what do you think, looking back on all these old school episodes, does this still hold up? I know earlier you said maybe it aged pretty badly, but I honestly think I could, if I was to start a marathon, I would be interested in finishing it,
Yeah, I think so too.
I think the first like 3 seasons are still really watchable, all the way up until Angel leaves, because the
Okay.
tension between her and Angel was a big part of the show
Yeah.
that really worked. And then once he left, they got some real lame ass dudes to take Angel's place, like this guy Riley and this Spike. It's like they couldn't really find a good mate for
I think
her
that-
after Angel.
I think Spike was the only really comparable one, even though he could be a douche. Like you started liking the guy. You know what I mean? Like I hated him at first, and then eventually I was like, he's all right. He's my dick. He's my dickhead. My dickhead friend. Like he might be a dick.
Yeah, no,
He's my
that's how I felt about him too. But I
Yeah.
was just like, I mean, I just still don't think Buffy would seriously give this guy a chance.
yeah. That I guess, dude, that makes so much sense. But yeah,
I'm glad that
does-
so many years later, though, I'm still thinking about Buffy's relationship with Angel and
yeah.
what she should have done.
What? So do you think it holds up? Would you say?
At least the first half of the series, yes, and the last half of the series um, jumps the shark a little bit and was already kind of for like hardcore fans at the time, and isn't as solid. But the first half of the series for sure is still very watchable.
Sweet. Well, you heard it here. If you haven't seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer, give it a shot because, dude, I just remember loving the shit out of this. So, We need to bring back those fucking marathons that last all weekend. You know what I mean? I feel like that a lot of people got into a lot of things just because they were like, I'm at home and this shit's on all weekend, bro.
Guess I'm
So
sitting here all running to the bathroom during the commercial breaks.
is this
Oh
even
yeah.
is this even on any streaming?
Oh
It's gotta
man.
be.
I think it's on Hulu. I think it's on Hulu.
Okay. Well, shit,
It's hard
man.
to remember because I have every fucking streaming service.
Dude, I have a lot of them.
Me too.
So
All right. Yeah. Thanks for joining us. I'm Will from DGD. Check us out. Check out my side project Royal Coda and my label Blue Swan Records.
Toby, go ahead.
Yeah, check me out on the Secret Levels podcast. It's a retro video game review show where we go over one old video game per episode and we find out if it's worth playing or not. So go look that up on all your major podcasting platforms.
I am Rickshaw. You've been watching Nerding Out with Rickshaw. Thanks for joining us. And, you can check us out on everything. We're on Spotify. We do a live show once a month. That's like usually a couple hours long. So you can check those out on here. They're also on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts, all that shit. Also, Facebook, all that stuff. Did I give a Sennheiser shout out on this one?
No, you didn't.
Also, Sennheiser is sponsoring this video, so if you want to go down to the description below and pick out a pair of headphones in that link, just type in 10 nerding out, and you will get 10% off those headphones. Even though Toby has it all messed up right here.
It's all messed up, man.
it's all good. It's all good.
There it
but
is.
yeah, 10 nerding out. Get 10% off those headphones. And thanks for watching Nerding Out with Rickshaw. And there's gonna be a whole series of these Raised by TV. So if you want to stay tuned, there'll probably be a couple more with Will talking about some of his favorite things growing up. All right, see you later, nerds.